Man, really proud of the team's effort to be down 9. I think we're down 9 with like 6 minutes to go in the fourth. Guys dug in, made a lot of big plays down the stretch. I thought our physicality down the stretch was really good, and it put us in position to win the game. Obviously, the timeout, we like to let people go in that situation. When Colin started, he did a retreat dribble backwards, started calling timeout. It's obviously loud. The hope would have been to have a few more seconds than 2.1, but yeah, it's tough in that moment because it's tough. The last play, execution, we haven't been in a lot of these situations this year, trying to get Lowry a catch on the elbow, and that's something we got to work on. Fight for our space, deliver the ball. Bryce hasn't been in that. I hope I didn't say anything offensive. Bryce hasn't been in that situation inbounding either at the end of a game. It's good experience for him. It's good experience for our team. I think the guys fought hard enough to win. We got to take the same competitiveness and energy into this road trip, and we will break through. I think that the team is getting better. With their ability to stick through the tough moments. Turnovers continues to be a separator in some of these games. To have a 1-point game at the end where you have 10 more turnovers than the other team, that is both encouraging and disappointing at times, because I do think that the guys are battling and, competing at a level where they can, put themselves in position to win the games, and we just have moments where we're a little sloppy with the ball. But the last 2 games, to have that energy, physicality, competitiveness on a back-to-back for our group, I think is really encouraging. The last 2 games and the tone of those 2 games is representative of who we want to be.
Can I ask, on the mechanics of calling time out there, do you want to be, how do you communicate to the ref in the crowd's that loud? Is it screaming at the top of your lungs?
Yeah, it's hard when the play is going away from you, but you just kind of jump up and down and scream as loud as you can. The refs have a hard job in that moment because they all have something to watch, but there's also one of them usually that's thinking about if I'm going to call timeout or not, or if a coach is going to call timeout or not. But yeah, those decisions are in a split second. I know myself, and I know that I like to let the team, with 9 seconds when we get the rebound, 8 seconds, you want to let them go. And usually my instinct is the second we start going backwards, you're calling timeout. But I would have loved for it to have been 3.5 seconds instead of 2.1, but that's where the human factor of all this comes into play. And it's hard because you don't know exactly how it would have ended up had they not blown the whistle and everybody kept playing. Maybe Colin would have finished it. I told Bull in the locker room I robbed him of a moment at the end of the game. But you go into those situations, we practice these situations, you have cues and things that you're looking for, and didn't go our way.
What was Colin's reaction?
Colin was very gracious to me in the locker room. On the court, he was a little more frustrated in the moment of emotion, which I get. But yeah, I haven't watched the replay yet on whether their team still went full bore after him or not. But it doesn't matter. I did what I did, and we all have responsibilities at the end. But Colin's an amazing kid and a great teammate. He's super coachable. he and I notoriously butt heads a lot, but there's a lot of love between us. Yeah, I hope we get another situation like that, and I'll just start walking to the bench and sit down when he goes full court.
I think 4 of the last 5 games, Keontae's had 5 or more turnovers, and I'm wondering if that's, and there's other games this season that he's had a lot of turnovers too, and I'm wondering if that's something that's been happening recently that is different, and kind of like, at what point is it a problem?
It's a problem. It is a problem. It's not catastrophic. It's not fatal. It's the part that we've got to sort of clean up is especially the fourth quarter string of them, 2 in a row. Because those are really, you don't have a lot of time to recover. They're not all the same, though. Like, it's not like one play that he's making over and over again. But this is the growing pains and the responsibility of myself and our staff and Keontae to work through those moments. He's not going to get better at them. We're not going to get better at them by hiding him from those moments. Now, it's a team, and there's other guys who are playing well, but also in that moment, he has 3 turnovers at the moment in the game. I can't predict that he's going to have 2 in a row. I have confidence in Key. He works really hard. He thinks a lot about these situations. We work on them in practice. He watches film on them. And I have no doubt that a breakthrough is coming. But right now, it is a problem. But this is going to be one of those games where everyone is going to sort of cherry pick information and pick something. Well, if we made all our free throws, we would have won. Or if we had gotten a rebound on this play, we would have won. It's very easy to do that after a game that ends the way that one did. But yeah, we have to clean up our turnovers in general, but especially in the fourth quarter.
We saw a lot of Lowry in the post against mismatches. What did you think about the looks you guys got out of those actions, and what goes into making the most out of those possessions?
It's getting better. It's not what we want yet. I think the first thing that we have to continue to work on is him getting the ball. I think it takes too long right now for us to get him the ball in those situations. That's everybody working together, Lowry's footwork and body positioning and the guards, passing angles. I thought that there are some possessions where you don't love the look you get, but there's also the post-up where he skips the ball over the top to the weak side corner, and you're going, yeah, that's growth. That's a play that we've been working on, a read that we've been working on with him for months. And you can't simulate those reps. You can't simulate it in a game like that with those athletes on the court. And so I have seen growth from Lowry in those moments. I have seen a different level of confidence in terms of looking for those moments. 9 months ago, I was begging him to, when he got a switch, take them to the elbow, take them to the nail, and demand the ball from his teammates. And that's not historically how Lowry has played. And so to see him 7 or 8 times in a game recognize that situation is the first piece of growth. We've got to continue to clean up the spacing around him so that he can make cleaner reads. But I have seen it improve as we've gone along. But like everything, it all comes down to the dosage. Like, how much are we doing it? Are we doing it too much? Are we giving him opportunities to mix his reads? And that's kind of something that we're always measuring. Some days you get it right, some days you don't. But I think overall he's doing a pretty good job.
You spoke on the energy of the team tonight. but also just looking at to this point in the season, quarter for quarter tonight, I mean, things were pretty even statistically, and I don't know, there was about a 1 to 4 point difference, you guys and the Lakers every single quarter. What did you like about just looking at it from that perspective and your team's effort?
Yeah, I think these types of games are massive for our growth because the game's never really out of reach either way. You don't have a big lead and then give it up, and they don't have a big lead, and then we kind of storm back and make it feel closer than it really was. You know, the Lakers play a methodical style, and we need that from time to time because it just tests your execution. They test our physicality on every play because positionally they are just bigger and older and stronger than we are in certain moments. So I thought it was good for the team to sort of be in that back and forth the entire night. We'd make a run, be up 4. They'd make a run, be up 4. It allowed the team to constantly adjust to what's happening, where we've had some games this year where you get down big and the mindset is sort of similar the entire game. You're trying to create some big run. The other team maybe has a letdown. So I think overall, I thought the guys were locked in the whole night. I think we had moments of sloppy play, but that's more physical than like their competitiveness. So, you know, like I said earlier, I think that these two games are really representative of who we want to be.
LeBron tried to get Keontae switched on to him a few times in the last few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder how you think he responded to that moment and how you want him to respond in that moment.
I thought the first 2 possessions that he switched on to him weren't very good. He wasn't physical enough. And that's a moment of decision for us where it's like, are we going to change the matchups or change his coverage, or what are we going to do here? And we made the decision and, you know, talked to Key. We're like, no, we're going to do the same thing and you can do it better, because for us to get to where we want to go, you know, that's a moment of kind of long view thinking. It's like, you can't hide in the playoffs. Can't hide in the NBA Finals. We're not going to build a defensive scheme where everything is about keeping you out of harm's way. And I thought that he responded pretty well. I thought his physicality picked up. There are moments where LeBron is just bigger than he is, but he forced him into some fadeaways and some different shots where the first couple LeBron just sort of ran down the lane. So I thought overall it got better. It can still be better. I wouldn't say that I'm walking away saying, oh yeah, that's my dream 3 possessions, but the last 3 were definitely better than the first 2.
7 straight games out on the road will keep you away from here for just about a month. How do you take a situation like that and turn it into an opportunity to get better, whether it's growing together as a family, developing mental toughness? How do you take this situation and play it in your favor?
Yeah, we look forward to these things. Obviously, the road is very different than home. There's a lot more opportunities to spend time together away from the gym where it's not disruptive of somebody's home life. The second piece of it is like the basketball itself. We're very spoiled here. We have amazing fans that pack this place every night and they give a ton of energy. You go on the road, we have to create our own energy as a group, and we can't rely on the crowd to give that to us. So I think the road is good for us in both of those ways in terms of like building the bond of the team, because you know, we're trying to make them more cohesive as basketball players always, but the best teams always have some form of cohesion as just human beings. So the road's a great place for that.
Thank you.
Thanks.